Okay, well, welcome back. We know that science can change over time. With new technology and advances, we can learn new things, and then, of course, maybe our old way of thinking is found not to be true. And so that's what's happened with the models of the solar system. Um, Originally, we had what was called the geocentric model, um, where Earth was the center of the universe. And they thought the ancient observers believed this because even though the stars seemed to move, they seemed in the same position relative to one another. And so the logical assumption at the time then was that the Earth was the center of the universe. And so the geocentric model, geo is the Greek word for Earth. Um, And in that model, the Earth is the center and the planets are revolving around it. And so you can see Earth as our center. We have the moon, Mercury, Venus, and the sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, all orbiting the Earth, geocentric model. Now, in 140 AD, Ptolemy developed this geocentric model. In addition to thinking that the Earth was the center of the universe, he also said that planets move in these circles, along bigger circles. So almost like they were spinning at the same time that they were orbiting. And that model helped to explain then those observations that were made with what was happening in the sky. And his theory was accepted for a very, very long time. But not everyone believed in that geocentric model. Aristarchus developed this sun-centered model. Helio is the Greek for sun. And so he believed in the heliocentric system where Earth and the planets orbited or revolved around the sun. Of course, we know that this is correct now, but it wasn't accepted for a very long time because people just could not believe that the Earth was not the center of the universe. Of course, a little egotistical, a little look at me, but that was the belief at the time. Okay, so Copernicus. He delved more into this heliocentric model by actually working out the arrangements of the planets and how they move around the sun. So he took it really to that next step. And then Brahe and Kepler made even more accurate observations and showed that instead of perfectly circular orbits, each planet orbits the sun in an ellipse or sort of an oval type shape. Of course, we saw this with the asteroid and the inner solar system activity that we just got done with, where we saw that not everything orbits the sun in the same way or with the same shape. That sometimes there is that second pin that can alter how things orbit. And in 1610, Galileo, with the introduction of the telescope, finally was able to discover the moons of Jupiter. And those moons proved that nothing in the sky revolved around Earth. Now, of course, again, because his ideas went against the church, he was considered a radical and a rebel. And so he was not cared for very much during his time. And with Newton proved that gravity and inertia work together, and we understand how they work together to create the motion of the planets and the moons, and just gave more credit to that heliocentric model of the solar system. So I hope that gives you a little bit better idea about how those different models evolved, and again, how science can change over time with the introduction of new technology. Don't forget to do your entrance ticket. Don't forget to do your Cornell notes. See ya.